you. Thank you very much for your kind words. So happy to be here in Düsseldorf. Be among like-minded people. People who care about our environment. People who care about people. Today, but also for our future generations. Who would like to be a king? Nobody would take on that burden. 45 years ago, a teenager was made a king. His father, the third king of Bhutan, passed away suddenly. And so, in 1972, a 16-year-old boy became the king of a small, landlocked country, sandwiched between India and China. He didn't have a choice. He inherited this small, landlocked country in the Himalayas that was just emerging from centuries of self-imposed isolation. People didn't know about Bhutan. And so, a few years later, when he was traveling through India, in Bombay, an Indian journalist asked him, "Tell me, what is your gross national product?" This young king looked at him in the eye and said, "For Bhutan, gross national happiness is more important than gross national product." I doubt the journalist knew what our young king was talking about. Gross national happiness is a holistic approach to development. An approach to development that seeks to carefully balance material growth with social progress, environmental protection, cultural preservation, all within the framework of good governance. Gross national happiness seeks to balance the immediate needs of the present with what is important for future generations. Gross national happiness is ultimately about sustainability. Our 16-year-old king, 45 years ago, began implementing sustainability. He didn't just talk about gross national happiness, he implemented it. He didn't just talk about sustainability, he began implementing it. And in a small country, one with barely 500,000 people at that time, one with a literacy rate of only 10%, most of them would have been monks. A country where a child that was born at that time wouldn't be expected to live till 40 years of age. Implementing sustainability policies must have been very difficult. But he persevered and he prevailed. After centuries of self-imposed isolation, Bhutan had rich forests, pristine forests, and plenty of natural resources. But the young king, He refused to cut down our forests for timber and to create agricultural land, as conventional economists at that time must have advised him. He refused to allow large-scale mining in our country. Instead, he built effective policies to protect our environment, to protect our forests. As a result, today, we have 72% of our country under forest cover. In fact, we have more because just the other day, just 2 days ago, the government announced that the latest forestry survey indicates that we have 94% of our land under forest cover. Our forest cover is growing. We have more than half our country protected by law, protected as national parks, nature reserves, and wildlife sanctuaries. All this means that Bhutan is a biological hotspot, one of the few remaining hotspots in the world. But this also means that Bhutan is a carbon sink. Our forests, they sequester more than 3 times the amount of greenhouse gases that our entire country emits. So our forests, they are a carbon sink for at least 4 million tons of carbon dioxide each year. This is why Bhutan is the only carbon neutral country. And this is why we are actually a carbon negative country. So our young king didn't destroy the forest, he protected the forest. And as it turned out, he used the forest. Because pristine, healthy forests meant sustainable flows of water. And he used the water to generate clean, renewable energy. So today, Bhutan is one of the few countries in the world that gets all its electricity from renewable sources. In fact, we have more electricity than we need, so we export electrical power to India. Today, the power that we export, the green electricity that we export to India, offsets something like 6 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent in India every year. In a few years, by 2020, we would be exporting enough green renewable electricity to India to offset something like 17 million tons of carbon dioxide every year in India. And that's just the tip, because we have so much hydropower potential that we can generate enough electricity to offset something like 120 million tons of carbon dioxide each year in that region. All that is because we have an environment that is intact. So you have healthy forests, environmental conservation leading to renewable energy, which gives us money. This is sustainability at work. Our young king used our limited resources wisely to educate our people and to provide us with free healthcare. And now, the income from hydropower allows us to educate all our children. Every boy, every girl in Bhutan now goes to school. Every girl, every boy goes to school because of the income we earn from hydropower. And at school, yes, they learn about sustainability. environmental sustainability, and cultural sustainability. What's more, because of investments in free healthcare, in just one generation, our children can now expect to live till 70 years of age. We have doubled our life expectancy. All of it in just one generation. So we have now environmental sustainability leading to economic sustainability, the proceeds of which allow social sustainability, which allow us to have a better understanding of environmental sustainability, leading to a better economic sustainability. This virtuous cycle cannot be taken for granted, because sustainability in this sense is not truly sustainable without political sustainability. And here again, our young king worked hard to develop the institutions of good governance. Good governance is one of the main pillars of gross national happiness. He worked hard to develop a system that is efficient, transparent, and accountable. In particular, he introduced democracy. He introduced democracy against the wishes of his people. Democracy in Bhutan is absolutely unique because we didn't have to fight for it. We were given it. So today we have a political system that is stable and can ensure the sustainability of our environment, the sustainability of our economy, and of our social systems. But that's not enough, because democracy requires politicians, and politicians can't be trusted. I know because I am a politician. And so His Majesty initiated the drafting of a constitution. Our constitution is anchored in the values of gross national happiness. Our constitution mandates the state to develop conditions for the pursuit of gross national happiness. In the area of environment, there's an entire article dedicated to environment. Our constitution requires that a minimum of 60% of our land must be maintained as forest cover for all time. Our constitution also has a separate article on culture and requires that people be the custodians of our culture for our future generations. The constitution requires that the citizens of Bhutan are the trustees of our environment and our natural resources for the benefit of future generations. In terms of social sustainability, the Constitution requires the state to provide for true and sustainable development of a just and compassionate society. A society in where people have received free education and free health care. A society where income inequalities are minimized and concentration of wealth is also minimized. A society where public facilities are spread equally. So now we have a constitution that ensures that our politics remain stable, which in turn ensures that we can continue to enjoy environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, and social sustainability. All this began 45 years ago. All this was started by a 16-year-old king. He worked hard, tirelessly, for the benefit of his country and his people, but without sacrificing our environment and our culture. He worked tirelessly and taught us that gross national happiness is more important than gross national product. And he taught us the importance of sustainability. After 34 years, in 2006, he resigned. He retired. He abdicated in favor of the Crown Prince. And so today, I'm delighted to be here at the German Sustainability Awards, taking part in today's very important discussions, because I am here to celebrate and share with you the legacy of His Majesty our fourth King, Jigme Singye Wangchuk, a champion, a true champion of sustainability. Be very clear. I don't want to give you the wrong impression about Bhutan. Bhutan is not Shangri-La. We have our problems. We have our challenges. Life in our farms are very difficult. And so farmers will leave their farms and go to the cities. Life in our farms is already difficult. But our animals are encroaching on their farms, and our forests are encroaching on their farms, making work unbearable for our farmers. So they are quickly abandoning their farms and migrating to the cities. As our children complete schools with higher and higher degrees, they want better paying white-collar jobs. And our small economy doesn't have those jobs. So the specter of unemployment has already become a reality in Bhutan. Our economy is still small, and we have poverty to deal with. And if we are not careful, corruption will become entrenched and will keep the poor miserable while allowing those in position of power and wealth to concentrate their hold on the economy. In the area of democracy, we are still young, and we cannot take the rule of law for granted. So we do have our challenges, but they can be overcome. They can be overcome if we are true to the values of gross national happiness. They can be overcome because we have another enlightened monarch, His Majesty King Jigme Singye Wangchuk, another philosopher king. He works tirelessly to ensure that no Bhutanese is left behind. He constantly keeps monitoring elected officials to ensure that we are honest. And he reminds us, all of us, that while gross national happiness may mean different things to different people, in the ultimate analysis, gross national happiness is simply development with values. And foremost among those values is sustainability, environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, social sustainability, and to make sustainability sustainable, political sustainability. I want to leave you with two quick final thoughts. If a 16-year-old teenager could take a small, impoverished country and develop it to what it is today by being true to sustainability, can you imagine what the bigger countries, the larger countries, the richer countries, the more advanced countries can do for themselves and the world and for our collective future? If a 16-year-old king can protect our forests and harvest renewable energy, imagine what our companies and our corporations and our multinational companies can do. They have much more resources at their disposal and much more advanced technologies in their fingertips. Imagine what we can do together for ourselves, for the world, and for our future. Thank you very much. Tashibulan.